Hello, I'm Sandra Nomoto from Vancouver, BC, Canada. I operate as a content doctor and I am the author of two books, including the recently released Vegan Marketing Success Stories. And I'm recording this on Sunday, November 6th, same day that I was hosted by X-Market Squamish. And so I just wanted to thank Sean, Alex, Kimmy, Peter at X-Market Squamish, and the entire group of vendors that joined me earlier today, our vegan tour, Mindful Food, Ume, Stormy's Ranola, and Kula Foods. We were gathered on a snowy day in Squamish. It was beautiful. Unfortunately, not the best setting for a book reading. And so I thought I would bring the fireside chat to you today and give you the reading that you were meant to receive. So I also wanted to acknowledge that we were gathered on the unceded traditional Coast Salish territories of the Squamish peoples. I'm recording this from Vancouver, BC, unceded Coast Salish territories of the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. So here is an excerpt from my book, Vegan Marketing Success Stories. This section is in the public relations chapter, and the section is called Be Your Own Media Empire. Selling other products aside from media has been key to We Animal Media's business and marketing. It's put out several books and short films, but doing that all the time isn't sustainable. So it's also focusing on creating long-term relationships with media and sales packages of images. For example, animal photojournalist Joanne MacArthur traveled to Australia to photograph the bushfires in 2020 and wanted to sell a package of 10 images she shot in the first few days or offer it for free to nonprofit organizations. She said, "We need to continue to show that we are reliable and that our work is ubiquitous. We want for journalists and media and activists and academics to think of us when they need visuals, both photo and video. And the more visible we are, the better PR we have, the better marketing we have, the more we'll be visible and have a good standing in the eyes of anyone who's using the work." It's funny because we're literally in media, but we don't have a marketing department. We have a development person part-time. We now have a communications person full-time. Creative director Kelly Bennett was previously the partner and creative director of a vegan restaurant and the marketing director of a new startup involving a city block of restaurants and shops. In the summer of 2020, she left to launch her own business and today runs an incubator for small business creatives who are working on building lifestyle brands and launching new products. Her clients benefit from her previous experience doing marketing, activations, community events, and leveraging social media in a way that aligns with people's ethics and values. We'll learn more later about how she grows her business via social media, but her secondary marketing channel is a podcast she relaunched in 2022, Creative Direction with Kelly Bennett. Storytelling, bringing people together, building connections, and doing it in an authentic way has been an exciting thing too. I had a few different podcasts over the years. I love being on video. Audio was always something that I wasn't into, but now with all the updates to make video podcasts, that's what I'll be focusing on in the new year, Bennett said. For medical student and nutrition coach Muzamil Ahmad, who markets himself as Dr. Plant-Based, what began as a passion to raise awareness about plant-based nutrition at his campus grew into a flourishing online community. He started the first plant-based nutrition club at his medical school to spread the word about the evidence and literature on plant-based nutrition to students, faculty, doctors, and deans. Ahmad said, "Eventually, they started being appreciative and accepting of the information I was sharing, but it takes a long time for big organizations like medical schools to change the curriculum. There's so much bureaucracy and a lot of red tape. So as much as I was passionate about doing that, I wanted to get the information out directly to the people. That's when I decided to start my Instagram account." Ahmad started presenting his work on nutrition and lifestyle from medical school at conferences and began meeting people with larger circles of influence like Dr. Cyrus Kambata and Robbie Barbaro from Mastering Diabetes and registered dietitian Brenda Davis, who connected with him online. Whenever I would make an infographic that they found valuable, they wanted to support me, So they started sharing my stuff on their pages, and that got me a lot of followers initially. I wanted to keep raising awareness, so I was interested in a podcast, he said. When he found out that starting a podcast would require some equipment, platforms, and graphic design, he and a fellow student told their medical school about the research behind the podcast and the sustainability piece of plant-based nutrition and vegan diets. They received a $1,000 grant to start the podcast because no one had ever done a project involving sustainability at the school. Once they started the Plant Prescription podcast, that's when Ahmad's marketing took off. When they interviewed big names, those guests would share the podcast episode on their platform, share posts on social feeds and stories, and tag @Dr.Plantbased on Instagram. Ahmad wanted to create more resources, so he self-published an ebook called The Plant-Based Nutrition Guide and marketed on social media, paying for ads on Instagram. When you make sales, it ends up covering the cost of marketing, he said. Eventually, he wanted to offer the ebook for free, so when he started writing his second book, Weight Loss Without Counting Calories, he sent emails to people who downloaded the first book telling them about the second book. Today, Ahmad now gets asked to speak at events. We'll talk more about video and digital opportunities in the next chapter, but how about producing your own online show? That's what plant-based community and e-commerce company PlantX does. Each week, founder Sean Dollinger hosts a live vodcast with guests that gets broadcasted over YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Experts say you should try to engage all of a customer's senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. For vegan businesses that aren't involved in food or have a physical space where you can engage our sense of smell, how about music? Some of my favorite vegan podcasts have great opening music scores that tell me, hey, listen up to this one. The Vegan Business Tribe podcast starts with whistling. Trumpets announce the Plant-Based Business Hour. And the Rich Roll podcast begins with 3 notes. Be creative and come up with something catchy for your content. Music is a universal language, and it's why social platforms like TikTok and Instagram have rightly integrated music into their platforms. Thinking of your business as a media company takes a lot of work. While you could try to do it all on your own, remember that there are vegan communities and professionals waiting to help you succeed. The more content you can release, the more media and consumers will learn about your business, and the easier it will become to share your stories. Thanks so much for hosting me again, PlantX and X Market Squamish. If you want to buy the book, Vegan Marketing Success Stories, it's available on paperback, ebook, and audio, and you can find all those links on my website, sandranomoto.com/products. Thanks so much.